And we're live with the Cat Kanavos Show here on New Earth Television.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I am so glad you're here tonight. We've got an amazing guest for you. I mean, I have read a lot of bios, but this one blew me away. The person that we have with us today is not only an ambassador, but she has had her fingers in Hollywood films, to Pooper Scoopers, to Karma, to Random Acts of Kindness, and not. And so we're going to culminate with an incredible love story. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Darlene Tipton. Welcome to the show, Darlene.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you.
So, Darlene, you know your maiden name is Lieblich. That's German for someone who is loved. Did you know that?
I did, yeah.
So your whole family comes from a long line of loved people, much loved people. So we're so glad you're here with us today.
Thank you.
So, Darlene, where did you get the name Ambassador and Karma Dar and Karma Ken, who is your husband? Where did that come from?
Well, this came from a game that we played with our kids when they were growing up to teach them right from wrong. If they did a good thing, particularly without being asked, like setting the table, the universe would award them a positive karma point. If Paul continued to bug his sister, I guarantee him that mom and the universe would debit him a karma point. And when enough karma points were accrued, they get a small treat. I mean, we're not talking going to Disney World. Maybe you get the kind of cookies that you prefer, something small like that. And we just continued it into their adulthood and our adulthood. And a few years ago, we were at Knott's Berry Farm trying to go to the chicken dinner restaurant. Could not find a parking place anywhere. And my husband suggested, well, we've got all these karma points accrued with the universe. Why don't we cash in 50 karma points for a good parking space? Ha ha. Well, the next time we circled the lot, there was a spot right in front of the big chicken in front of the restaurant. We laughed, we went in, we had our lunch, and we spent that scribbling on napkins. What could we do with this idea? And that's how we came up with the idea for our website, amazingkarma.com.
Oh my goodness, what a great story. And so you and your husband, Ken, who's not with us tonight in person, but he's with us in our hearts because you actually met him when you were in the movie production part based on Ken's family true story called Heart of the Beholder. Is that right?
That's right, yes.
Oh, would you share that story with us? How did you meet him? How did that happen?
Ken was an actor working in Hollywood trying to get this movie made. And in 2000, when the commercial actors strike hit, he had to take a job driving a limousine so he could continue eating. Well, he was fired by an A-list celebrity who shall remain nameless. And the story was picked up by a website called filmthreat.com. And it included the backstory of his movie. And I was so outraged, I got in touch with him and he handed me a script. I said, oh, here goes a promising relationship. But I read the script and it was so good. I signed on immediately as producer. And I bought his life rights. I own the rights to my husband's life. He doesn't. And it took us several years, but we completed the film in 2004, I believe. It was released in 2005 and went on to win more Best Feature Film awards on the independent film circuit than any other film in history. And it was Chloe Grace Moretz's first movie.
So how can our listeners find more information about this?
It's available on Netflix, I believe, Hulu. It's available on most streaming platforms. And considering that we made it for a mere $600,000, which is less than a 15-second television commercial costs, we're very, very proud of it.
Oh my goodness. So we're going to switch now from a love story to duty calls.
Yes.
Pooper scooper life. Tell us how that came about, and where is that now? What's happening with that?
Well, that's in St. Louis, Missouri, and we set it up as a business initially for our son when he got out of the Army. Unfortunately, it didn't work out too well, so we took over the management ourselves. We manage it remotely from California. We have trucks and technicians who go out to people's yards and pick up pet waste. There's a lot of good money in pet waste, shall we say.
I'll bet there is. You can probably actually reuse that for lack of a better word. Don't waste anything. So what do you do with that pet waste?
Well, actually, we're working with a company that has methane. Thank you, methane digesters. And we're working on a portable methane digester so we can recycle everything.
And make our trucks go off.
And yeah, our trucks will run off poop.
I just walked in.
Ken just walked in.
I love it. Oh my goodness, you guys are amazing. So is that Ken we're hearing in the background?
Yeah, he just walked in from doing some errands.
Oh, great. So let's get back down to karma. Now that we've been through everything else. The word karma is used in both the Buddhism and Hinduism, you say, yet it's also a non-religious idea, for those are your words. So what is your project, amazingkarma.com, all about?
Well, at amazingkarma.com, we do consider karma a non-religious philosophy of just what goes around comes around. Own your actions, make amends, then move ahead. And we have karma cards, green karma cards. Let me see if you can see this. Can you see that?
Yeah, we can. Looks great. Okay.
And red karma cards.
Okay.
Now, if you see someone doing an act of kindness, however small, say somebody takes someone's cart back at the grocery store, how often do we interact with that person and say, I saw you do a good, kind thing? We just don't. But you can easily walk up and hand them a karma card. And each karma card has a unique code on it. You take this karma card, you go to our website, you make an account, which is free. You register this karma card and you will get a karma point for registering the karma card. Now, when you pass this, when this person passes it on to the next person and they register it, person number 3 gets a point, person number 2 gets a point, person number 1 gets a point. So the points continue to accrue geometrically for as long as the cards are in transit. And when you've accrued enough karma points, we will convert those into karma cash. And you can do one of 2 things with those. You can have us redeem it for you for any gift card or certificate on the planet, or what we find most people prefer and what we would like to encourage. We will use that money to make a donation in your name to any registered 501(c) charity on earth.
That's amazing. So tell me what happened, what's happened where you've walked up to somebody, let's say, putting their cart back or anything, and you've handed them a karma card. What is the reaction?
Their face will light up, and the inevitable reaction is, that is so cool. It's such a great idea. Now, of course, we also have the red karma cards, which for exposing bad deeds. You might want to leave one of those under somebody's windshield, say if they're parked diagonally across 3 handicapped parking spots. But
tell her about the Ferrari.
I'm getting there. We have a story that involved us handing a red karma card directly to somebody. We were going out to lunch, and there was this beautiful Ferrari parked in front of the restaurant, bright yellow, but it was badly parked. My husband, of course, goes over and starts chatting with the owner who's about to leave, and very, very politely says, you are parked rather badly here. I said, well, it's a brand new car. I didn't want to get it scratched. Well, there are plenty of big, wide, shady spots in the back. You could have parked there. I said, well, I just didn't. My husband very politely says, I'm sorry, sir. I'm going to have to give you a red karma card. And the guy looks at it for a moment, and I'll clean this up a little bit. He says, screw karma. He flings the card across the lot, gets in his car, drives off. Okay, these things happen. We go in and we order our lunch, and we see this unmistakable car drive back into the parking lot. Now, this time, it parks neatly in one of the wide, shady spots in the back. The owner gets out. He is crawling on his hands and knees across that parking lot, looking under cars until he found that red card. And then he took it, and he went and got in his car, and he drove away. So the thing of it is, the red karma cards aren't for punishment. If you are given a red karma card and you go to our site and register it, that means you've taken responsibility for your own actions. And you said, yeah, I was a jerk. I did something I shouldn't do. We're going to give you a positive karma point for doing the right thing. But then you can hold on to the red card to give it to the next jerk you run into. So it's all positive. So long as you register the card, it is all positive. And everything is free. The account is free. We will ship you the cards for free. You just have to ask us. No shipping, no handling. We ship them as far away as Australia and Sweden without shipping or handling. So all you have to do is sign up and ask, and they're yours.
So how do you hope that this amazingkarma.com is going to make the world a better place? How do you see that working?
We found out that if you acknowledge a small act of kindness, it makes somebody feel good, and they start looking for someone else who's doing a small act of kindness because they know how good it felt when they were rewarded for it. And I think this just reinforces doing good and looking for good. We're conditioned to look for bad. The 24-hour news cycle is all about the bad things happening, but we forget how to look for the good. There's so much good out there, small acts. It does not have to be somebody pulling someone from a burning building. It can be as simple as somebody at the park picking up a piece of trash that isn't theirs and putting it in a barrel. That's a good thing. That should be acknowledged. That should be encouraged and rewarded. And that's what we're all about.
You both have had these huge multiple careers. What made you decide to step out of that comfortable, successful box and go into something like karma.com?
Well, to be honest, after 25 years, I was fired from my job in media. And it was a personal vendetta, one of my bosses against. And when I sued them for wrongful termination, I used the settlement money to set up the website.
That's great.
So that's how good karma happens. Use something bad to fund something good.
Yeah, that's amazing. So we're down to our last 2 or 3 minutes. So I'd really like to get all the information in for our viewers because I know they're going to just love this and they're going to be looking for those karma cards. How can they contact you? They wanted to know more about you, not just the cards.
That's also easy. Go to amazingkarma.com. My bio is up there. Just click around. And I would encourage any of your viewers who let me know that they heard about amazingkarma.com on your show and they order karma cards. Normally we ship out 40. If they tell me that they heard about it on your show, I will ship out 60 cards to them absolutely free.
Wonderful. And so that's really, do you have a Facebook page or a Twitter page?
We do. Just search for Amazing Karma.
Okay, great. Now, I know that as I was reading your bios and all the information that I've got here, you have both been through some past struggles in your work lives that you say were related to greed, dishonesty, and abuse of power by others. And we just kind of touched on that to a degree. How did those experiences influence you into starting AmazingKarma.com?
Well, I can't say that every bad thing that has happened to me was somebody else's fault. Everybody has problems. Everybody has issues. It's just how you work through them. And you will work through them a lot better if you look at life positively rather than negatively. Don't think of it as a glass half full or half. You don't know until you try it. And you have to keep trying the next thing and taking that chance to do the right thing, experience the next good thing. look at life as a positive. No matter what happens to you, something better is going to happen. As long as you just don't sit back and wallow in, oh, everything bad happens to me. Get out there, look for good in others, look for good in the world. You'll feel a lot better about yourself.
Well, Darlene, I want to thank you and Ken's voice for being on the show with us today. Your karma cards are amazing. And I think that these are the type of cards that families should be using in their homes in order to teach children how important it is not to just look for the bad in life that you were talking about, but notice and reward people for the good things they do in life. And random act of kindness, I saw in the paperwork that was sent to me that you're big and you really promote random acts of kindness. So we were talking about kindness where you go up to somebody and you hand them a card. But how would you define random acts of kindness and how would you reward that?
I think you know a random act of kindness when you see it. Just somebody doing something good. The other day I was at the park. There's a water bowl for dogs. Somebody who didn't even have a dog dumped it out and refilled it with fresh water. I would call that a random act of kindness that somebody should acknowledge. That's why these karma cards are so easy used. They're the size of a credit card. They're sturdy plastic. They'll last through being passed through several hands. So why not get out there? Look for all the good that is out there and start passing out the karma cards and reward it. And the joy that comes back to you when someone's face lights up when you hand them a green karma card, I can't even express how good that makes me feel.
I agree. So all of our listeners tonight, if you'd like to start something new for 2017, get these karma cards and start handing them out to people. When you notice them doing something nice for somebody else, maybe they're doing a random act of kindness for someone else and you notice it, just like emptying out the water for the dogs in the park, even though he didn't have a dog. So thank you again, Darlene, for being with us today. And we love the idea of your cards. And I know that our listeners are going to go and check them out. I know I am. And so thank you again so much for being with us.
Thank you. Come on over to amazingkarma.com.
Yes. So everybody, thanks again for being with us tonight. Tune in next Monday night when we're going to have some more amazing guests who are just publishing their books. And speaking of published books, I just got back from New York, so I'm still a little dazed. I was on the Dr. Oz show, and I was being filmed for my book, Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing. And the segment was amazing premonitions. So your dreams are sacred doorways to the other side. Imagine using your karma cards as you go through those dream doors. Ooh, how cool would that be? So tune in next Monday when we're going to have more guests with us. Until then, have a great week and stay tuned when I'll tell you when the Dr. Oz show is going to air. Good night, everybody.
You've been watching Kanavos Show here on New Earth Television.